Hello, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Kerr, back here with Alex Meyer discussing our predictions for this year's Emmy nominations. We've already discussed comedy categories. We've discussed the drama categories. Now we're about to get on to the limited series TV movie categories. So we'll be starting off with outstanding limited series, and it's my turn to read off my current rankings. And the current shows I have getting in this year, and from first place to last place, I have the nominees I have predicted are Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Godless, Twin Peaks, The Looming Tower, and Howard's End.
All right, I have the same five, but a different order.
Okay, what is it?
I have the Assassination of Gianni Versace in first place. Then I have The Looming Tower in second, Twin Peaks in third, Godless in fourth, and Howard's End in fifth.
Okay, yeah, and I guess that is interesting. Well, I guess that definitely seems to be a good lineup. I mean, Looming Tower is more recent as opposed to Godless and Twin Peaks, because Godless streamed. Well, it's still streaming on Netflix, obviously, but it debuted in the fall. And Twin Peaks, aired last summer, even though it was seen as like an event series. So I guess that's so. And so, yeah, I guess. Well, then again, if this is the exact 5 miniseries we'll see be nominated, well, it won't matter. But yeah, I guess that's a pretty good rankings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Twin Peaks, I think, only has a so-so chance of winning just because it never won any big categories during its original run, and plus David Lynch is one of those filmmakers where you either love his work or you hate it, because his taste is very bizarre, to say the least. And Twin Peaks has like a lot of WTF moments that you either think are brilliant or make no sense at all.
Good point. Good point.
Plus, there were David Lynch's recent comments about which he claims were taken out of context, where a newspaper quoted him as saying Trump could go down as one of the greatest presidents ever. But then David Lynch said, no, that's not what I said, or at least he claimed that's not what he said, and he said Trump is terrible, but he said if Trump improves, he could be good. And then he said something about supporting Bernie Sanders in the primary, but ultimately voting Libertarian in the actual election. Because David Lynch's political views have changed a lot over time. Like, I think I read somewhere he was a Reagan supporter in the 80s, but then he became Democrat and voted for Barack Obama both times, or something like that. But I think he sometimes identifies as libertarian as well. So, yeah.
Well, yes, and as for, I guess, I mean, there aren't really a lot of other candidates I could see potentially sneaking in. Like, Genius may have gotten in last year, but its second season on Picasso, well, it hasn't been as well reviewed, even though I do have it getting in another category, which we'll get to soon. And there's The Sinner, which was a hit on Showtime last year, and
I actually think it was the USA Network.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. There's Top of the Lake China Girl, even though I don't believe it was as successful as its first round. And there's Waco.
You also forgot to mention Patrick Melrose.
Oh, yeah, there's also that. I guess that could sneak in as well.
That, I think, that would have been my sixth place choice if we had a sixth place option here.
Yes.
I could easily see it getting in, though, just because it's so recent and it's Benedict Cumberbatch, and anything he's in is like Emmy gold practically.
Well, yes. Not to mention that surprise when he pulled for one previous season of Sherlock a few years ago. Yeah. So yeah, and Patrick Melrose, which is Showtime. Yeah, I could see that sneaking in. So I guess now on to, I guess a kind of a category with a bit of a weaker field, which is outstanding TV movie, and your rankings are?
I have The Tale, Black Mirror USS Callister, Paterno, Flint, and Fahrenheit 451.
Okay, I have the exact same 5, though I currently have a Black Mirror in first place. Well, very much because given that it won last year, though I could see the tail winning, and yeah, especially given all the acclaim it received. So yeah, I could totally see that winning, and um, and and yeah, Paterno. While I guess I kind of see it taking the Wizard of Lies spot, given that's the HBO film from Barry Levinson, who starring an acting legend. Of course, with Wizard of Lies, it was Robert De Niro, and Paterno, it was Al Pacino, and well, I guess both of them giving, I guess, some of their best work in recent years. And fourth place Flint, and fifth place Fahrenheit 451, even though that really was not well reviewed at all.
But Grace of Monaco got in this category a few years ago, and that got even worse reviews.
Oh, yeah, so I guess it's totally not impossible. And 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 again, there probably isn't as much room for other things to sneak in, like Doctor Who, Twice Upon a Time, or Electric Dreams, The Commuter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I mean, this is pretty much all that they can nominate, really.
yeah, and in fact, I guess before we move on to the next category, let me ask you a question. Well, okay, obviously the acting categories and directing and writing combine limited series and TV movie, and I believe there was a time when the Emmys did combine those two categories. So, do you think TV movies and limited series should be competing together or separately, at least for the top prize, not acting?
I think separately because they're both two different things. One is meant to tell a story over a longer period of time. The other is meant to be a self-contained story told only within a certain time span.
Yeah, I kind of agree, even though one of them does have a weaker crop of contenders. But yeah, I think, and plus it's also kind of a nice way of spreading the wealth among nominees and winners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now on to outstanding lead actor in a limited series or movie. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, the current rankings I have are Darren Criss, Assassination of Gianni Versace, Benedict Cumberbatch, Patrick Melrose, Al Pacino, Paterno, Jeff Daniels, The Looming Tower, Kyle MacLachlan, Twin Peaks, and Antonio Banderas, Genius Picasso.
All right, I have the same six, but in a slightly different lineup. I have Darren Criss and Benedict Cumberbatch in first and second place, like you, and I have Antonio Banderas in last place. But then I have Jeff Daniels in third place, Kyle MacLachlan in fourth place, and Al Pacino in fifth place.
I can, no, I could, I think I can understand a couple of those, like, you know, Al Pacino's playing Paterno, who, of course, was, I guess, was known for, I guess, his, who's committed sexual assault crimes in the past, I believe.
No, that wasn't him. That was his assistant coach, Jerry Sandusky.
Ah,
However, Paterno knew about the abuse and didn't, I guess, he didn't go to the proper authorities with it. Like he and the Penn State president they just tried to cover it up by like, I guess, banning Jerry Sandusky from the campus or whatever. They never actually went to the police about it.
uh-huh. Yeah. Although with, again, as I mentioned with how Wizard of Lies was kind of one of De Niro's best performances in recent years. Well, I guess Paterno is kind of viewed as one of Pacino's best performances in recent years, as like De Niro. Well, Pacino has it seems like he's kind of been phoning it in a lot, over the year, at least throughout the century.
Mm. Well, I just think that like Paterno I mean, it got good reviews, but not like glowing reviews, whereas
Well,
the looming tower and Twin Peaks seem to be better received critically.
yes, that's true, and as well as the fact that Jeff Daniels could be in contention twice this year, not only with The Looming Tower, but also with Godless and supporting.
Hmm. I just think Jeff Daniels' greater visibility will increase his chances of being nominated and possibly winning.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, and well, yeah, that's a good point. And I guess all other people I could potentially see sneaking in is Jesse Plemons, I believe was nominated. Well, who was a previous nominee, and Emmy voters have seen him in Fargo and Breaking Bad. Yeah, I could see him sneaking in for Black Mirror this year. Oh, no, Michael Shannon. He's had quite a year, not only appearing in the Best Picture winner, The Shape of Water, but also his appearances in Waco, and in fact, even critics who didn't like Fahrenheit 451, they did feel he was one of the best things about that movie. Although he's eligible in supporting there, where in lead, he's eligible for Waco or Waco, however the title's actually pronounced. Again, although I guess Michael B. Jordan maybe, but well, he of course has been having a better year with Black Panther, but I don't really see it.
Yeah, I mean, I could potentially see him as a surprise nominee, but that's probably a long shot because I know there were some critics who had issues with his performance in Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah.
All right, so now on to, oh yeah, mini movie supporting, well, not supporting, lead
Lead
actress.
actress. So what's your
Uh,
rankings now?
okay, so this is my second super bet. I have Laura Dern, The Tale, Jessica Biel, The Sinner, Elizabeth Moss, Top of the Lake, China Girl, Michelle Dockery, Godless, Haley Atwell, Howard's End, and then Kristen Milioti, Black Mirror,
Oh,
USS Callister.
oh, Kristen Milioti, I don't have in my predictions, but I could totally see her sneaking in. And, but yeah, I have. Yeah, in her place, sixth spot right now, I have Sarah Paulson for American Horror Story Cult. Even though I don't believe she managed to make the cut for American Horror Story last time, I guess I have her getting in anyway, given I guess her overall track record with getting Emmy nominations, and and but yeah, the top five I have Laura Dern, Jessica Biel, Michelle Dockery, Haley Atwell, and Elizabeth Moss.
Mm-hmm. I just think Kristen Milioti may have a chance here just because Black Mirror has only gotten more popular since it won last year. And I think at least this particular episode, from what I understand, it's about a woman who's basically forced to play a role in a man's fantasy of her, and she has to get out of it. So this could, for some voters, this could tie into the Me Too movement.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah.
So yeah. Plus, like some voters may feel that it's someone at least from Black Mirror should get at least one acting nomination somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. And I guess a couple other I could potentially see sneaking in is Edie Falco for the Menendez murders. I believe I'm currently looking up. Yeah, she's I guess four-time Emmy winner for two for at least three for The Sopranos and one for Nurse Jackie. I could potentially her sneaking in here for the Mendez murders, and I guess there's also Regina King for 7 Seconds. She's won this category, supporting actress twice for American Crime, so I could see her sneaking in.
Mm-hmm. Can't really think of anyone else. I mean, Sarah Paulson obviously could probably get in, but I kind of took her out just because American Horror Story, like after the after the freak show season, it kind of really started falling from Emmy voters' graces,
Yeah,
getting less and less nominations each year.
and Acclaim, I believe.
Hmm. Well, I guess Cult did receive better reviews than Hotel, but obviously, I think most people feel the show isn't in its glory days anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ryan Murphy's now getting to the point where he says the upcoming season is going to be a crossover between I guess, season 1 and season 3 or something.
Hmm.
I don't know, something like that. So
Yeah.
that kind of signals to me he's running out of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though he's obviously has other things going on like Feud, Pose, and American Crime Story.
Right, which makes me feel maybe he should just concentrate on those, because if you stretch yourself too thin, then something's going to suffer for it.
Hmm. Yeah, so now on to supporting actor in a limited series, TV, or movie. Okay, my current lineup I have are Edgar Ramirez, Assassination of Gianni Versace, Jeff Daniels, Godless, Peter Sarsgaard, The Looming Tower, Michael Stuhlbarg, The Looming Tower, Bill Camp, The Looming Tower, and Ricky Martin, Assassination of Gianni Versace.
Mm. Okay, this might be the most different lineup we've had yet so far.
Okay.
So I have I have Edgar Ramirez and Jeff Daniels in first and second place. But then I have Michael Stuhlbarg for The Looming Tower in third place. Then fourth place, I have Michael Shannon for Fahrenheit 451. Fifth place, Jason Ritter for The Tale. And sixth place, Peter Sarsgaard for The Looming Tower.
Hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, some of those I could see being possible. Like, as we discussed with Michael Shannon, even though Fahrenheit 451 hasn't gotten the best reviews, I mean, even its detractors did feel he was one of the better things about it. And, you know, and in fact, I believe yeah, Jason Ritter, he's someone who could also sneak in for the tail. And in fact, there's I guess, whole ensemble of people from Gianni Versace that could also sneak in, like Cody Fern, maybe, or I mean, in fact, I have noticed that Bill Pullman has been apparently has been predicted by some people to get in for the Sinner. And in fact, I guess a wild card here is Brandon Victor Dixon for Jesus Christ Superstar live in concert, because, for one, no live musical has ever gotten an acting nomination. In recent years, even though Jesus Christ Superstar has aired the most recent, it is a little more fresh in, I guess, people's minds. Although I guess, again, I'm not willing to predict a live TV musical to get an acting nomination until I actually see it happen. So, yeah, so I guess that's all I could think of right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think Bill Pullman has somewhat of an outside chance, given that he is the other main star of The Sinner and he's a veteran actor, and I don't believe he's ever gotten any major awards nominations. I know he's never gotten an Oscar nomination, but I don't know his Emmy history.
Well, I'm looking up right now, and I believe he is returning for the second season, which Jessica Biel won't be a part of.
Hmm. But Carrie Coon, well,
Yes. I don't believe she was on the first season.
no, because I think each season will be a different story.
Yeah, kind of like with True Detective and Fargo.
Hmm.
Yeah. It seems that today probably the biggest award Bill Pullman's ever been nominated for was the Broadcast the Critics' Choice Awards for The Sinner. Believe it or not. So,
Hmm. Um, yeah,
so
so I know I'm taking a risk with Jason Ritter because not many people seem to be predicting him, but I just have this feeling that with The Tale coming out right out in the heat of the Me Too movement, I just feel it's probably going to overperform in the nominations, including the acting nominations.
Yes, yes, and aside from Laura Dern, I am predicting it to get in the next category, which we'll discuss in a minute. If, depending on if you have anything else to say regarding this category.
Not really.
Okay, so now to supporting actress in a miniseries TV movie. Your predictions for the lineup are?
All right, so I have Angela Lansbury, Little Women, Penelope Cruz, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, Laura Dern, Twin Peaks: The Return, Judith Light, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, Nicole Kidman, Top of the Lake China Girl, and Ellen Burstyn, The Tale.
Okay, I have most of the same. Like although I actually have Penelope Cruz for Gianni Versace, Angela Lansbury, Little Women, Laura Dern, Twin Peaks, Judith Light, Gianni Versace, Meredith Weaver, Godless, and Ellen Burstyn, The Tale. I mean, I haven't seen Top of the Lake, so I can't really comment on Nicole's performance in that. I was I was watching a hangout with Riley Chow, Zach Lawson, and Amanda Spears, and they were kind of talking about how surprised they were that Nicole Kidman was ranked so high in the odds. So, I mean, I don't know if it was pretty much because first off her Emmy win last year for Big Little Lies or what, I don't know, but yeah, I guess she is someone I could see sneaking in, and you know, with and I guess I could totally understand having Angela Lansbury in first place, because even though Little Women has was aired on PBS and was I guess kind of under the radar. I mean, again, you know, this is talk about a legend. She's also long overdue for an Emmy. I mean, of course,
18 nominations, no wins.
yes, and of course, we're also just coming off of the announcement that Greta Gerwig is set to make a new film adaptation of Little Women, and no casting is. I don't believe any casting. Well, specific casting. Well, they did announce which which actors they're looking at to be cast, but they didn't go into specifics about which role. So we don't know if Angela Lansbury. I'm sorry, Meryl Streep will be playing Angela Lansbury's role or the mother. But
I think they just announced that Meryl Streep is playing Aunt March.
really? I'm not sure if I saw that.
I thought I heard that somewhere.
Well, that's the speculation. I mean, I could still see her maybe playing the mother. Well, I guess. Um, or maybe, since even though she does fit into more of the age of. Okay, yeah. The Los Angeles Times reports that Meryl Streep will apparently be playing Aunt March, not Marmee, the mother.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
So yeah, I guess. Hmm.
I
So
guess
yeah.
for me, when predicting the ultimate winner here, because the predictions in this category are all over the place, since I know the supporting actors and actresses have to submit specific episodes instead of the whole thing, unless it's a TV movie, it would ultimately have to come down to what episodes Penelope Cruz and Angela Lansbury submit if they're nominated. I mean, I know the tape system doesn't always work any the same anymore because now the entire membership votes, but I guess in some cases it can still work because no one saw Ann Dowd winning a supporting actress in a drama series last year. last year. So, but I do think just the fact that Angela Lansbury's she's now in her 90s and she's never won, and she seems to be playing the role that seems to be tailor made for awards. I think that could help her a lot.
Yes, and it. Oh yes, not to mention who knows how many opportunities she'll have to compete for anything, because she's, I believe, 92 now. So who knows how much longer she'll be alive.
Right, but I mean, she must be in good health for her age, though,
Yeah.
if she can continue working.
Hmm. Yes. So and and yeah, I guess other possibilities who could sneak in are Jennifer Jason Leigh for Patrick Melrose or Naomi Watts for Twin Peaks.
Or Queen Latifah for Flint.
Oh yeah, I guess that's another one. You know, she's a previous nominee for Bessie, so I guess it's possible.
And Life Support, a film
Ah,
about AIDS that was aired 10 years ago.
hmm. Yeah, good point. Good point. So I guess are there any? I guess other. Well, okay. Before we end our discussion on the limited series TV movie categories, now are there any? I guess unexpected contenders that you would be happy to see get nominated that you're not currently predicting?
Hmm. It'd be interesting to see if Riley Keough somehow sneaks in for Paterno because she's playing a journalist and now like journalists are being looked at as more important than ever, especially with Donald Trump being president.
Hmm.
Plus, she's playing a journalist who won a Pulitzer Prize for her reporting on the Penn State scandal.
Yeah, I guess that'd be interesting. So, yeah, in any case, I'm about to end our discussion on the limited series TV movie categories. We'll be back soon with our discussion on the reality variety series categories.